Shalom. I want to start by giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'arukah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone for teaching us the scriptures, among other things. And salutation to Yakim across the earth for doing his work in sincerity and the truth. Shalom. So the thing is, this video I want to go in, basically I want to go into the wickedness of these females, And, while we were growing up, when I was a kid, I saw these females, whether it be my sister, or family members, or even my mother, saw them do certain things that now I understand that they ain't supposed to do. This society teach you that the female is always the victim. When a man leaves children, and I can also speak for myself because I'm not with the mother of my children, but there's a reason for it. A man, the majority of men don't want to leave, don't want to go away from his child. Majority of the time it's because of a nagging woman, or she is adulterous or out of order. That's the thing, they've been pushed. You have for example Beyonce with all the women independent that raise your hand and all that. She did a big I said it she played a big part to that, so-called independentness while she's married. And you had these females from TLC. One was the Dyke, Left Eye, whatever. She died. But with the song Scrubs, especially in the 90s, they were doing that a lot. But actually also, I believe it's the 70s, that song from was it Aretha Franklin, if I'm correct. A little bit of respect, so-called singing for female power, the feminism. Feminism is bullshit. The Mosai made it very clear about what the order is supposed to be. Matter of fact, let me jump to the book of let me see, is it first or second? I think it's First Corinthians. Check it out real quick. Yes, it's the book of First Corinthians, chapter 11, and verse, verse 3. But I would have you known that the head of every man is Yahushai. And Yahushai is the real name of the one who the world unknowing calls Jesus. His name is Yahushai, and the name of his father is Yahweh. So, book of First Corinthians chapter 11 verse 3. But I would have you known that the head of every man is Yahushai, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Yahushai is Yahweh. So that already shows you the order that the Mosai has put. This society, it puts females above a man. You got females in high positions. That's not how it's supposed to be. I believe it's in the book of Timothy also, where it also speaks of that. And there's also another thing. A woman's supposed to have one man in her whole life. Of course, in this society, you ain't gonna find a virgin. And if you got a virgin, she already probably did some things, And if you get a virgin, you probably won't keep her. The chance is, I don't say that it never will happen, but the chance is very small that you've got yourself a virgin and that she will stay to you until death, because that's how it's supposed to be. And that's also according to the man. You're supposed to keep a wife until death, but nowadays it's hard. These females are out of order. They already been nutted all over. They got semen of 70 other dudes swimming in them. So of course, they be bugging out, because every person, every dude that nuts in a female, he's leaving some of his DNA in a female, and she basically she get a part of his spirit, and you see it. That's why these females always want to fight with you and stuff. If you got a female and you're busting her, then you see her, basically starting to act to your likeness, and I'm not telling you to go on and nodding in these females, No, man, it's better, to prevent that, and it's better, not to make children with them, because especially this time, we are at the end of this society, end of Esau's rulership. You see all the shits going on, China getting ready, they got a self-destructive destructive helmets for soldiers, so they can use it, so they can, the helmet will blow up, when they say when the soldier is injured or whatever, but it's just to, how you say that, to avoid that a soldier gets caught, and and how they torture a soldier in order for information and stuff, so basically to avoid that. And also they said the commander or the leader of the squad, he's also going to be able to detonate a helmet if it's necessary. So basically it's like, you had these this Ishmaelites, that they will that are bombing themselves. It's the same thing basically, but then with a helmet. But yeah, and another thing, and a man is allowed to have multiple wives, but you gotta treat them equally. You gotta you gotta make keep performing the marital duty, which means having intercourse with them. And you got to I said that if you got, let's say you got a wife and you take yourself another wife, you cannot uh, uh, um, spend less time with the wife that you already had because you have a new wife. It ain't supposed to be like that. And let me read it. It's in the book of Exodus. Let me see if I remember which chapter. I thought it was it 20 or was 2? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yes, it's the book of Exodus chapter 21 and verse 10. If you take him another wife, her food, like back in the days, you had to take care of everything for your wife. You had to make sure that she has a roof above her head. Because back in the days, those females, they used to have their own tents. And that's also another thing. If it's possible, if you got a wife, it's better, for the better, to live separately. But of course it's not always possible. But let's say you meet someone, you fall in love, this and that, you like her, she have her own place, you got your own place, you can stay at your own, you can keep your own place. I'm not saying that you cannot spend time together, but it's very handy in time of when she's unclean, when she got a period. Then you have to be separated for 7 days. If you both if she got her own place, then it's easier for you to stay clean, and she can keep the law concerning separation. So back to the book of Exodus chapter 21 and 10. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. So back in the days, you had to take care of a roof above her head, her clothing and her eating, and the duty of marriage, that's sex. So you cannot spend less time with her, spend less quality time with her because you got a new female. You gotta equally divide your time. And that's also, the scripture said all things are lawful, but not all things are expedient. So I'm not preaching go on and get and go and get another wife, because it can also distract you from doing the works of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Because you got all these wives, you got to please them all, and you ain't got time for nothing. Look what happened with King Solomon. He started falling in love with all his with his concubines, and started making altars for them, and even started starting worshiping, following their idols. It's also a thing, because if you deal with a woman, you're gonna deal more things concerning with more things for the world also, because she likes to go out from time to time, have a dinner somewhere, or maybe go on a little vacation, things like that. I'm not saying that is wrong to do, but you got to keep in mind that you gotta you gotta spend time. And if he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money. And that's also another thing. Like, you can divorce, you can, give your wife basically a bill of divorce. That's how they used to call it back in the days. So you could done your wife away, do away with her, if she this don't obey you. If she body you, it doesn't matter if she believes or not. If you're in the truth, you got a wife, but she doesn't believe it. She's not in the truth. It's no problem. The Apostle Paul explains that. In the book of Corinthians, First Corinthians chapter 7, he goes into that. If she doesn't believe, you are not allowed to cut her loose, because as long as she don't hinder you for doing the works of Yahweh Basham Yahushai, there's no reason for you to cut her off. If she takes care of you, does all these things, she's in order, she listens to you, she knows and accept her place, that's good. But the most I put together shall no man put asunder. Like the scripture said. And the point that I wanted to make here, like verse 11, the book of Exodus chapter 21 verse 11. And if he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money. Nowadays these females take half of your money, even go with your dog, and go with your children, and that's not how it's supposed to be. Back in the days, if a woman left, she left without the children. Children would stay with the man and with his new wife or his other wives. That's how it's supposed to be, and that's how it's going to be. But when the kingdom is gonna be built here and on earth, in the kingdom of heaven, kingdom of Yahweh Basham Yahushai, then all Israel is going to be righteous. So we ain't gonna divorce. We're gonna be righteous. We're gonna know the law from the heart. Our mind's gonna be imprinted with the law. So everything's gonna be beautiful and in harmony, peaceful. Let me see. Let me jump. Let me go to the book of Corinthians. Then I can go into the thing concerning the. I said it. If she does not believe, and also for the woman, if you the more and more women start waking up to the truth, and if you are in the truth, you're one of these women, and you're in the truth, but you got the man who doesn't believe, but as long as he don't hinder you and let you do your things and respect you, while you do the works for Yahweh Basham Yahushai, where you do your best to please him, then you shouldn't break up with him. That's not what the Bible teaches us. Let me see. So this is the book of First Corinthians chapter 7 verse 12. But to the rest I speak, not the Lord. If any brother had a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. So if you got a wife and she doesn't hinder you in the truth, but she doesn't believe, but if you keep the Sabbath, she respect the Sabbath. When she's unclean, she separate herself. If she's doing all these things, then it's beautiful. Then you shouldn't put her away. And the verse 13, and a woman which had a husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. You see it? So and you got people that you maybe got people that teaching that. I'm not sure if United and Caesar, Israel United and Caesar, if they be teaching that, but that dude Nate, he been going off a lot, a lot. Now he's saying that the MOTB is sin, so yeah. But he took it back. Yeah, that's for sure. So and I was reading in chapter 11 concerning that a man is allowed to have multiple females. So this is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 8. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. And you can go back to the book of Genesis, where it says, matter of fact, let me just go there, where it explains you that the power sit, and there was Yahweh Shai and the angels, and the elect, and they said, let us make a helpmeet for the man. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And it's talking about powers, multiple powers, the word God. Let me see. Uh, Let me see. And maybe let me jump first to Genesis chapter 1. No, I'll just go to the point. Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. And the power said, "It's not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a help meet for him." So a woman supposed to serve a man. So here it already shows you. And out of the ground the powers Yahweh formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And Adam gave names to all cattle and to the fowl of the air and to every beast of the field. And that also shows you that all these Latin names that they got for these animals, those are not the names, But for Adam, there was not found a help meet for him. So Adam was lonely. And the powers caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his rib and closed the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which Yahweh had taken from man made he a woman and brought. And this is a saying, it's not literally, The rib means it was the wife that Adam had was a wife or was a family member, like a cousin or something. uh, Yahweh had taken from man. Let me see. And the rib which Yahweh had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, "This is now bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh." Okay. So the woman was created for the man, to be an helpmeet, to serve the man. That's how it's supposed to be. But that's not how it. I'm not saying that all females, that all the. No, you got a couple of women out there. There are women out there. It's not a lot, but there is some women over there outside in the world who do their best. Who are in order. So let me see. This is the book of First Peter's, chapter 3:1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands. And that's a thing that these females nowadays got a problem with, And of course, Esau been promoting that, like I said, with the songs, especially in the 90s. Basically, it already started in the 80s, maybe 80s, maybe in the 70s also, so-called girl power movements and stuff, And they've been pushing it more and more, females. They can decide whatever they want, this and that. Now, in certain places here in Holland, you cannot even talk to a girl. If she doesn't like it, then you're already risking getting a fine for a couple of hundreds, maybe 300 euros or something. I don't know exactly what the amount is, but, just for, by whispering like, something like that can give you a fine, So this is how entitled these females become, And but while they be walking in whole costumes, have the nipples out, walking basically in underwear on the street. When you see a little bit of sunshine, man, they're walking in skirts. You can see the bottom of the ass. The ass butts, you see them falling out of the pants, the shortest hot pants, the shortest skirts with a string under beneath it, titties hanging out. But yeah, if you're looking, then you're a pervert, If you're reacting to that, then you're a pervert. While she wearing that whole costume. But yeah, likewise, your wife be in subject to your own husbands. So, that's how it's supposed to be. But is it that way? No. For the majority of them, no. that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversations of the wives, while they behold your chaste conversations coupled with fear, whose adoring let not be that outward adoring of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold and put and or of putting on of apparel. Basically, you know how this bright colors that they wear. You can see a hoe from a distance. She's wearing that bright pink or green or yellow or something. All got all these jewels on. You see her shining from far. Titties hanging out, ass hanging out, walking on those high heels. Click clack, click clack. That's not how it's supposed to be. A woman's supposed to be on the background. But let it be hidden, let it be the hidden man of the heart, in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is the which is in the sight of Yahweh of great price. For after this manner in the old time the holy woman also who trusted in Yahweh adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands, and that's how it's supposed to be. But nowadays you got the mother setting the bad example for the daughters, you know talking shit. I even see it in my in my family. Family members. You got the wife talking shit to the husband. Making fun of him, not taking him serious. Children growing up, having no respect for their father because she doesn't have respect for him. They treat him like a toy, and of course, that man is a bitch too. Actually, for letting them do that to him. Because that's also another thing. You gotta be a man. Don't let a female. Yeah, if a female tries to step over you, you better tell her to get an order, and if she don't want to listen, then she can go. There's no reason to stay with that headache, man. Just leave her, kick her to the curb. Fuck that shit. In the kingdom, you're gonna have multiple wives, and they're gonna be in order. Even before that, when the calamity is gonna start, they're gonna realize who the men are with the answers, Then they're gonna cleave onto us, They're gonna do everything. They're gonna accept everything. They're gonna know there's gonna be multiple wives, and they're gonna accept it. It's in the book of Isaiah. Matter of fact, let me jump real quick to that, and I go back to the book of Peter's. Let me see. Book of Isaiah. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 4 and 1. And in that day, in the time of calamity, when Yahushua is about to come back, when all these riots are going on, when it's total chaos, death and destruction everywhere. And in that day, 7 women, and 7 is a completion, stands for completion. So it doesn't mean that as a man you're gonna get 7 women. No, you're gonna, as much as you can handle, as much as you please. Some it might be 3, for some 5, for some 7, for some 20, some 30, 50. You don't know, whatever. In the kingdom also, we're going to have a lot of wives, a small one is going to become a nation. Well, with 1 female or 2 females, you cannot become a nation. You got to have a lot of them, because a woman, one time in a year, she can I said give birth. But a man, you can pregnant multiple women in one day. Okay, there you go. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us call by thy name to take away our reproach. Okay. So they're gonna realize that the men of the Lord, the men of Yahweh Basham Yahushai, that those are the only one who can protect them. They're gonna realize it then. Let me see. I was thinking about the scripture. Where was it again? Let me see. Sure, I think it was in the book of Isaiah. So I was thinking about the scripture and I thought it was in the, if I'm correct, it was in the book of Isaiah, but I don't exactly remember where it was. But I know when I see it. Let me see. Bear with me for a moment. Yes. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 32, verse 2. And the man, and this is not talking about the regular man, this is talking about the man of Yahweh Ba'Sham Yahushai. And the man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and the wind that stands for destruction, and a covert from the tempest, as the river of the rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. So the man of the Lord, the elect man of Yahweh Ba'Sham Yahushai, is going to be the only man that's going to be able to protect these women who are in order. Because the majority of your females, y'all going to get it, man. The majority of y'all is not in order. So death is your only cure. So back to the book of First Peter's. Book of First Peter, chapter 3 and verse 5. For after this manner in the old time, the holy women also who trusted in Yahweh adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands. Even as Sarah, the females be like, yes, I'm like Sarah, this and that, listen. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well. So as long as you do well, you be counted as then you are a good person in the eyes of Yahweh Ba'Sham Yahushai. And are not afraid with any amazement. Likewise, ye husband, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel. So, as a man, we gotta realize that the woman is not even smart as a woman. Of course, she can give good advice from time to time, this and that. But as a man, we can look things rationally. A woman, always look by things by emotions. She is amazed by outward appearance. Somebody dressed a certain way, she thinks, oh, that's a good man. But a man can see it, can look at the thing and without getting all sensitive about it. And you got to realize that she is weaker. And she got to realize that she is weaker, that you're basically the one who stands above her. So the order is very important. And as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. So if you got to, like I said, as it's written in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7, if you got a wife, and even if she doesn't believe, but she doesn't bother you by doing the works of Yahweh Ba'Sham Yahushai, and she is in great order, then you shouldn't put her away, And let me see. Another thing is, judgment is gonna begin. It's gonna begin with our people first, And the majority of our people are females, So a lot of our females gonna be put to death when Yahushua comes back, man. Even before that. So let me see. This is the book of First Peter, chapter 4. Verse 17, for the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh Ba'Sham Yahushai. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh Ba'Sham Yahushai? So it begins, the Most High is going to clean his own house first. Then it's going to jump to Esau and the other heathens, And if the righteous scarcely be saved, so scarcely means barely make it, So the elect's going to be like, oh shit, I hope I'm going to make it, because it's going to be horror on this planet. It's going to be horror. This is nothing yet. If you think you've seen horror with the C-19 and stuff, with this lockdowns and stuff, force shooting and stuff, And You think you saw a hard time? There's nothing yet, man. There's nothing. There's not nothing yet. It's gonna be far much worse, man. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Wherefore let them that suffer according to the will of Yahweh, Basham Yahushai, commit the keeping of their souls to him in well-doing as unto a faithful creator. So he that endured until the end, the same shall be saved, you know. And that's a very important thing for us to keep in mind. So let me see what more did I add here. Uh, uh, uh. Uh, and there's also a thing, you know, because nowadays, you know, you got evil females on YouTube, you know, so-called believers, and there's also a thing, you got to watch out for a female that she believes. You know, I'm not saying that there are no women, no good women who believe in Yahweh by Shem Yeshua. Yes, they are out there. I know that they are out there, but you gotta, you know, test the spirit, because a lot of them, they turn bug outs, you know. A lot of times they turn out bug outs. And you know, if she got herself on YouTube or whatever, and making videos and going into the scriptures, it's not supposed to be like that, you know. She's out of order. This is the book of First Timothy chapter 11, of Slaki chapter 2 verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Okay, there you have it. Making the video, reading the scriptures. No, I saw things like that in the past. I made a video concerning that, even, you know. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to observe authority over the man, but to be in silence. Now you got the directors, female police officers, you know, things like that. It ain't supposed to be like that, you know. A woman she ain't supposed to have authority over a man. And you see these females, they always be acting out, you know. They the aggressive, starting screaming immediately, you know, have no control, you know. If somebody is doing something that he ain't supposed to do, you know, a normal police officer, you know, he might talk normal to this dude, and, you know, nothing happened. Give him a warning, it's done. A female, she might start screaming and shit, and, you know, of course, as a man, if a female starts screaming, with me personally, my blood is starting to boil, man. I'll be like, whoa, straight cooking point, you know. Shut the fuck up, bitch. What the fuck you doing? But these females, they love to scream, man. So they start screaming, and because, you know, they be like, they get the you know, if you watch South Park, you know, you got Cartman. As soon as they get a little bit of authority, he go nuts, you know. He goes nuts, and that's basically what these females are doing. But I suffer not the woman to teach, not to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. So yeah, to her we all die. Yeah, man. So let me see. The book of First Timothy. Chapter 5, verse 6. But she that liveth in pleasure is deaf while she liveth. Yeah. All these females should go on a holiday, should having a good time, being on Instagram, showing their nipples, you know, going there, do things, horrible things with those shikes in the, how you call that? In Dubai for a little bit of money, you know, playing with camels and stuff, you know, rolling and shit, drinking piss, all the horrible things that they do, you know. Let the dogs having the way with the females, you know, stuff like that. Those shikes do over there, you know, and they do it for money. Yeah. So let me see. Thinking about, yeah, and there's also another thing, because there's also, you know, because, yeah, let me just read the scripture, then it already gets clear. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8, verse 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the Son of Man is fully set in them to do evil. And that's not only according to the men, but also to the women. Because, you know, back in the days, the Most High would strike at instant. Somebody does something, boom, judgment. immediately. Nowadays, people, you can see people doing wicked stuff for years. Drug dealers, whatever, or female being adultery. Adultery, if you commit adultery as a man or a female, you're supposed to be put to death. Thus said the Bible, but I'm not telling you to do that. Like I said earlier, all things are lawful, but not all things are expediently, because we ain't supposed to do that. But sometimes you see judgment happening, a female doing crazy shit, then she get in a crazy accident or something. And a lot of times the Most High also may show you stuff. I had it myself in a dream, you know. I remember I was dealing with a female, and then I just dreamt that she was all filthy, like she had like eczema. And the whole it was all she was all dusty and shit. And she didn't look like the female that I was dealing with in that time, but I knew it was her. And she was all dirty, and then I realized, yes, she already been playing with another man. So leave it. The thing is dirty. And or of course we are not, we are all our righteousness is as filthy rags, but nevertheless, we try to get cleaner every day. We do our best to clean ourselves up, and the Most High will guide you to it. But like I said, let me read the scripture again, the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8, verse 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Because you see people doing wicked shit and nothing happens, and that's why they continue with it. They think, yeah, and you be telling them like, hey man, we ain't supposed to be doing that, this and that. This is not for us. We need to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our abilities. It doesn't matter, man. This and that, nothing gonna happen. Yeah, that's the mindset of the people. That's the mindset that they have. Let me see. So this is the book of Ecclesiastes. Let me see. Chapter 25 and verse 16. I rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. Yeah. So that's the thing. It's not necessary to deal with the wicked woman. You can give her chances, and of course nobody's perfect, but you can work on it. And if she doesn't want to better or become a better person, but keeps bugging out basically and fighting with you, then just leave it, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Believe me, I speak out of experience. It's not worth it. The wickedness of a woman changes her face and darkened her countenance like sackcloth. Her husband sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. So if you are, if you do your best to please Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and you've been dealing with a wicked woman, the Most High will find a way for you to get rid of her, without too much problems, because like I said, and of course things can happen. I've seen a lot in my surroundings. Back in the world, I saw it with friends that I had in the world, with family members, even with brothers. You see it, females, they just go away with the children. Recently here in Holland was also a case. Recently a female, she went to Poland with the children, talking about that living with the man was horrible and blah blah blah. And that's also always the case. If a female says something, then it must be that must be the case. But it's bullshit. It's bullshit, man. They, if they see that they ain't got no control over you, and you are, basically don't doing the things that they want you to do, that basically they want to stand over you, being dancing on your head, and you ain't allowed that, then they start messing with the children. Okay, then you can see your child, and then you can see my child, and then it's her child. I saw many of those cases, man. Family members, children taken away, female going to the islands with the child, then the child grows up and she can't handle it, especially if it's a boy, she can't handle him, then she send him back to his father. I know of multiple cases of that. Wicked females, man. But y'all gonna get it, man. Y'all gonna get it very soon. Book of Sirach, chapter 25, verse 19. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. As the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man. Yeah, that's it. Let me see. The book of Sirach, chapter 26. Oh, no, chapter 25, verse 24. That's a very beautiful scripture. Verse. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all died. Just go read the book of Genesis. See how it came that Adam, of course, Adam went after Eve, listening to the things that she was saying. So that shows us you ain't supposed to, like I said, she might, if you got a wife, and she's good to you, she might give you some good advice, but don't go blindly after a woman. Stay rational. Verse 25, what I said earlier. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to get abroad. So if she stop that wickedness instantly, she got a big mouth, stop it. Don't accept that shit, because she only, if you, in the Dutch they got a saying, if you give somebody a finger, they will take your whole hand, and that's it. They will take it every time they will take it a step further. If she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go. Okay, you see, the cut her off from your flesh. If she only be bothering you, hindering you in the works of Yahweh Basham, you only give you stress. You already got stress. You're going from your job. You're dealing with this knuckleheads, these stupid Edomites, these heathens. You come home and you have a female who is not in order, start nagging at your head. Dinner is not even finished. Stuff like that. Your house is a mess. Yeah, you can't deal with that shit, man. Get her out. Then better, it's also better, if you can take care for yourself, as a man. It's better, man. Try to cook something, make your own meal. If you can take care of yourself, that also makes you less independent for a woman. And it's better, of course, if you live together. Sometimes, you might have bought a house together or whatever. But if it's possible, it's better to live separate. It's better. Then you are totally not depending on a woman. So this is the book of Sirach, chapter 26, and verse 9. The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and her eyelids. Nowadays they got this super lashes and stuff. You already see it. They got this long ass nails. A female with long ass nails, of course, she might paint. I have no problem with women who paint their nails, who take care of the hands and take care of the body and stuff. The hair is neat, and I have no problem with that. But if the nails are long, then she is not able to cook. If a woman can cook, well, with me you won't last long. Woman gotta have you gotta cook. You gotta know how to cook at least. Let me see. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. Yeah, if you got a daughter, you got to keep her short, because in this society, Esau got, little children walking in bikinis and stuff. But don't forget, Esau is a pedophile in the heart, That's also a thing. But they got little girls walking in bikinis and stuff, this and that, if you see the clothing for the women, for little children, it's like adults dressing, hot pants and stuff, things like that. Watch over an impudent eye, and marvel not if she trespass against thee. She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he had found a fountain, and drink of every water near her. By every hedge will she sit down, and open her quiver against every arrow. And a quiver is the thing where you put the arrows in. Okay, so it's very graphic, but it's very clear. And let me see. There's one scripture. I'm gonna end it with this. This is the book of Proverbs. Slakia. Chapter 30, verse 20. Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth and said, I have done no wickedness. Yeah, and that's what these females nowadays are doing. You got all these videos on YouTube, asking females what their body count is and this and that, stuff and that. And yeah, you see them lying and stuff, females, asking men, oh, would you take me on a date, this and that, all this bullshit. Females, they got nothing to offer, and they know it. If a woman can't cook, you see her almost naked on the streets, almost. And she's always, and of course, as a man, you like what you see, but you might have fun with that a couple of times, but then you're done with it, because there's no a woman supposed to, if a woman can take care of you, then yeah. If you are a man of Yahweh Shem Yasha, you will find no pleasing. She can't please you, So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it like that. So yeah, yeah, man. So I just want to say to the few sincere sisters who are listening and try to do their best to please Yahweh, Basham Yahushua, keep up the work. And if you are really earning, you really want a man, and the Most High in due time will give you a man who is right for you, in due time. And if you already got a man, and like I said, he doesn't believe, but he doesn't hinder you in doing the works of Yahweh, doing your best to please Yahweh Basham Yahushai, then it's no problem. You ain't supposed to worry and leave him. Slack, yeah. Don't worry about it. So yeah, I think yeah. So basically that's it. If you got a wicked woman, just consider it, think about it. If this is the way that you want to continue, and you already, if you're in this truth, you already know if something is right or wrong, and if something, and of course, a story got always got two sides. It's also a thing. As a man, you ain't supposed to be a lion in your house neither. Coming in like, hey, what the fuck's going on? What's my dinner? This and that. What? As soon as she said, she'd be like, what? And then pop, punch her in the face and stuff. No, you ain't supposed to do that. If our, one of the camp leaders also used to say it back in the days, and it's very true. If you got a wife, you're dealing with a female, and you got the urge sometimes that you want to beat her, you want to slap her, then it's better to leave her. Because that means she's really out of order. You are not meant to be with her. Just leave it. Doesn't matter if you got one child, 100 childs, 20 children with her. It doesn't matter. Anything that we lose now in this side, the Most High going to give to us 100-fold. Let me read that scripture. That's a very beautiful scripture to end it with. Just popped up in my mind. Let me see. The book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 29. And everyone that had forsaken houses or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's a good thing to suffer for Yahweh Basham Yahushua, because the things, hey, what the elect's gonna get, oh man, you can't imagine that. It's gonna be very beautiful, man. So yeah, with that, I'm gonna give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Waharuka Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders who gave millstone for teaching us the scriptures, among other things, and salutations to all your Akim across the earth who doing this work in sincerity and the truth. So with that, I'm gonna say Shalom.